Hello, my name is Kamal Naz. I will be doing skill 4, which is reconstituting a pediatric suspension. For step 1, I have to verify the expiration date found on the bottle and determine the BUD date. It was made February 23rd, 2020. It can be used before August 21st, 2020, and the BUD date is March 3rd, 2020. For step 2, I have to read all the directions and complete any required calculations. And I have to provide the rating calculations with the assessment form. These are my calculations here, and I will be putting it with the assessment form. Step 3 is review the label based on the prescription interpretation to verify correct days, supply, and dose. According to this, I'm supposed to tap the bottle and add 50 milliliters of water, and it has to be used within 10 days. And it has to be shaken well before it can be used. It has a total of 200 milligrams per 5 milliliters. Now I'm going to gather the necessary materials. These are the auxiliary labels. This is a medication. These are other labels. This is a graduated cylinder. Here is some water. This is a bottle where I will be putting the medication in. This is a 10 milliliter oral dispenser with a cap, and it's disposable. And this is red dye, which will be the flavoring in the solution. And here are my gloves. I'm gonna go put it back in here so I don't lose anything. Now it says step 5, perform the aseptic hand washing technique. I will be doing step 5. So first I'm going to keep space between me and the sink, and I don't want to touch the counter either. I'm going to use a paper towel, and I'm going to turn on hot water and cold water to get lukewarm water. Like this. I'm going to wash my hands. Without touching the sink. And then I'm going to put soap on my hands, and I'm going to scrub my hands for 20 seconds. 20. Without touching the sink. Now I'm going to wash my hands without touching the steam. Okay, I'm done washing my hands. Now I'm going to blot my hands with a paper towel I have right here. Blotting. And I don't want to touch the sink while I'm blotting. Okay, my hands are dry. I also don't have any jewelry on my hand. Okay, I'm going to take a paper towel and I'm going to turn off the faucet with the paper towel. Okay, and that is step 5. All right, I'm moving on from step 5, and for step 6, I am supposed to don the Nerdle gloves. My Nerdle gloves are here. I'm going to don it on. So I have one glove. I'm going to put it on my right hand. I have another glove. And I'm going to put that in my other hand. Step 7 says subtract the exact amount of all flavoring ingredients, 0.3 milliliters of orange flavoring, from the total amount of water needed located on the medication bottle. Okay, I did that, and that's a total of 6 drops, and for 15 milliliters minus 0.3 milliliters is 14.7 milliliters. So I will be needing 14.7 milliliters of water, and then I can add the 6 drops, which is 0.3 milliliters, and that is the flavoring. So step 8 is using a graduated cylinder in the proper procedures. Measure the amount of sterile water needed for the full prescription. Okay, so according to my calculations, I need 14.7 milliliters of water, and I have water right here. I am going to pour 14.7 milliliters of water in here. So that's 10 milliliters, that's 15 milliliters. So I have to do it a little bit below the 15 milliliter mark. Put my hand here, and then I'm going to slowly pour it in there. Clearly and concisely. Okay, I poured. Okay, it's not 15 milliliters yet. I'm still pouring water in here. Okay, that should be about 14.7 milliliters of water. It's not on the 15 milliliter mark. Okay, and for step 9, I'm supposed to add 0.3 milliliters of orange flavoring, which is 6 drops of the red dye. That is this right here, and I'm going to open it. Okay, it's a little dirty, so the dye might spill in here. I'm gonna place this right here, and I don't think it will contaminate anything. And also to add 6 drops of the red dye, which is 0.3 milliliters. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is 6 drops of the red dye, which is the flavoring, which is 6 drops, 0.3 milliliters. And I'm going to put this in here. Step 10 says allow the observer to verify that the correct calculations and measurements have been completed. Must show amount of liquid being added before reconstitution. It's about 15 milliliters. I don't know if that helps or not. Okay. Step 11 is follow the printed directions from the medication bottle. Oh, for the medication bottle. Okay, this is a medication bottle. I'm supposed to add 15 milliliters, but the solution is modified for this lab. And I've already explained what it is, and I'm going to pour it in here. Okay, I'm going to shake this. I'm still on step 12. It says once mixed, pour contents into graduated cylinder for observation. Okay, I'm gonna pour this back into the graduated cylinder for observation. Okay, I'm going to show the absorber what this looks like. It is about 15 milliliters. Step 13 is label the prescription bottle, adding any necessary auxiliary labels. For the lab, it didn't have it didn't have the prescription bottle, which is this on there. So I'm going to assume that I don't need it. So I'll just put the label on here. So I am going to label the prescription bottle. The labels are in here. I think I will put this label on here because it doesn't have any personal information on it. This. I'm going to reattach the label on here. Like that. Okay, wants me to initial the right corner of the label bottle. So, I will put my initials on the right corner of the bottle. My initials are there in the corner. Step 15 says place additional label on the scale for pediatric suspension review constitution assessment form, and I will be doing that on the form, just not on the video because I didn't print out the assessment. Step 16 is dispense the medication with the oral dose syringe. One second. Okay, I'm going to pour the contents of this back into here. put this to the side. It didn't tell me to put any of these labels on here, but if I would put some labels like Shake Well, which is the blue one right there, on there. Okay, it says dispense of medication with a Rale dose syringe. This is a Rale dose syringe. I'm not gonna open it. This is for the customer to use. All right, sir. Your medication's right here. It is 30 milliliters with flavoring in it, and this will be your Rale dose syringe. It needs to be refrigerated and it needs to be used within 10 days. When using this, you need to, I believe, take 4 milliliters. No, you're supposed to take 5 milliliters of this on the first day, and then you're supposed to take less than 5 milliliters on the next 9 days. I believe that's 3.75 milliliters. And that is how your child will need to take the medication. It needs to be shaken before used. Okay, and that is the end of this lab.